Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm so excited because we are welcoming Jess Nerren back to the show. She is one of those amazing people that if you get an opportunity to meet her or hear her speak, go to an event where she's speaking or be a part of an event that she's a part of, you should do it. There are some truly amazing people in this autism community, and I would put her at the top of the list of somebody who spreads sunshine. Wherever she goes, you can see her smile a mile away, and you spread sunshine, Jess. You're just a really fabulous person in the autism community who is about community, and you do so many things for so many different organizations, but you're here today first to talk about an organization that if you watch this show, you know it is so dear to my heart, Fullerton Cares. In Fullerton, California. I do not live in Fullerton. I do not live anywhere near Fullerton, California. So I want to be upfront about it. I know people must watch and go, well, she must be from Fullerton. No, I talk about retiring to Fullerton because they have something so unique going on there. But I talk about it with love because it's special. It's right, Jess?
Good. Oh my gosh, they're doing something so good there. And I kind of feel like Fullerton is my second home too because I don't live there either. So I always tell Larry, the founder, we need a Fullerton Cares everywhere, and hopefully one day that'll happen. But in the meantime, I find myself and my son spending a lot of time in Fullerton as well because it's just one of those places that really found that magic formula and is doing everything right. And I love what they're doing because it's so comprehensive and they just think of everything down the line for our kids.
Yeah, and we frequently on the show, when we talk about Fullerton Cares, we talk about the power of one, that one amazing man said, I want to do something in my community. I'm a business person. I'm opening a restaurant. And while I'm doing that, I want to be a part of my community and I want to be a substantive part of my community. So he founded something called Fullerton Cares. And that's Larry Hauser, and he sets a tone that is amazing. But he also attracted a group of people from the community who are wonderful, and together they not only lift the whole community up, but they lift up all of Southern California. And you're right, there needs to be one everywhere. I have pestered Larry before about the fact that he has to write a book, about a how-to book. This is how we did Fullerton Cares and how you're going to do it in your community. So for people who are watching, are like, okay, I hear it's great. Why? One of the things that why we wanted you on today is to talk about one of their cornerstone events, which is the Mardi Gras for Autism. So tell us a little bit about this event, Jess.
Okay, so Mardi Gras for Autism is 8 years strong. It includes about 4,000 people from the community and from Southern California at large. I know of people that have come up from San Diego, out from the Inland Empire, and from Los Angeles, including yourself, the San Fernando Valley. So people really come from everywhere. It's a very diverse and inclusive event. It's really a carnival that's made to celebrate people of all abilities. So it's not just for people with autism, but it's going to include our kids for sure. So there are attractions that keep in mind some of the sensory needs of our kids. There's a whole area. It takes over a giant parking lot of a train depot in Fullerton. So there's a whole huge area that's sensory only. So if we're dysregulated, we can become more regulated. If we're neurotypical and we don't understand what regulation is yet, we have an opportunity to experience and live in the shoes of our kids for a couple of minutes and see what it might be like for them. We have some of your, more standard carnival stuff. We have balloon twisters, face painters, everything fun. We have a rideable shark that's really popular, trampoline. So things that are fun for everyone, things that include everyone, things that people of all different abilities can do, or they can find something that fits for them and their state of regulation that day. And then in addition, we've really stepped up our resource fair. And so we have one of the biggest and best resource fairs in all of Orange County at this point. Members of the community serving our kids of all ages, all stages of life, all levels of interest, even, things in the arts, the performing arts, academic behavior, just community-based services. And so we have a lot, and each one of those is going to have their own attraction within the resource as well. So we really have tried our best to make it something that's really fun and also really useful for our community members who might want to come out that day to join us. It is in the Fullerton Train Depot parking lot, and it's 11 to 4 on April 1st. So the very first day of Autism Awareness Day, you can come celebrate with us, and it'll be a lot of fun.
It really, I say this every year and I get a little emotional about it. Every event that we go to has its own flavor. I mean, let's be honest about that. But there is something really remarkable about this event that is the secret sauce, I believe, and is the answer to everything. And I think you really hit on it a few minutes ago when you said this is a community event for everyone. And that it's about autism, and the people with autism are at the forefront of it, but it is a community event. If you go to autism events and it's just the autism community, there's something luscious about that. But you get to a point where you go, but then I have to go back to the rest of the world. I have to have my child be in the dance class, and I have a choice that I can put my child in the special needs dance class, or I have to try to have my child fit into the dance class that doesn't understand special needs. That's what the rest of the world is like. But in Fullerton, it's not.
Right, so we have everyone. We have elected members of our community, of our school board, all kinds of general education educators, and I completely agree with you, right? So, my son was diagnosed almost 9 years ago now. I feel relatively autism aware already because I have to live with it every day.
Yeah.
So there's always more for me to learn, but I have a general level of understanding on what autism is, and it helps me to be around other families who also are experiencing it. But, I meet educators all the time who have yet to have, served in an autism classroom or really just had a one-on-one with a child with autism. And so we provide an opportunity for a lot of professionals to really get a lot of one-on-one time with members of our community who may not otherwise necessarily have as big of a chance. We have a lot of people who are students for behavior therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and this is part of their opportunity to, really get to know our population. And then just how you said, members of the community at large. So, we don't want to just preach to the choir, right?
Right.
We don't want to make me autism aware. That ship already sailed. We want to really,
right?
We really create that inclusive opportunity for everyone, whether they live with a loved one with autism, whether they are a loved one with autism, or whether they've never had any contact with autism before in their life, to all enjoy a beautiful day together.
And that's really what it is. I mean, I do look at Fullerton and go, this is where everybody needs to get to. And maybe everybody can't get there today, but let's look at what's working and why it's working and how it's working. So that's the Mardi Gras for autism. And it does have a Mardi Gras theme, which is so, I think the kids love that too, Jess. The number of volunteers that you guys have at that event and the way that they are pumped to make everybody feel welcome. I have been there when you guys have had torrential downpour and gale force winds, and people were having such a good time.
Yeah, people come out. They're as committed as we are to doing this.
It's amazing.
And it's amazing.
And you're wearing the necklaces. Necklaces are given out.
So I have the necklaces. I even brought a Mardi Gras hat. So I'm fully prepared for Mardi Gras today. There is really truly a Mardi Gras theme. Things get silly. They make these huge balloon hat twister things. People get their entire faces painted. There is a spirit of celebration on the day. So I tried to bring a little bit of that to you today.
and there are all these games to play at every booth. There's a game. There's interactive things for kids to do. As you mentioned, the shark is so popular. That it's crazy, that crazy shark. But there are so many things to do, and you guys do a really good job of having a really wonderful mix of information and entertainment. There is no one who could come and not have a good time. The first time I ever came to one, I will be honest with you, I didn't understand what was happening because I was going to interview people that were in the autism community, and people were coming up to us and we were like, hi, do you know a child with autism? Do you know somebody with autism? And they were like, no, I work at the local bank and I wanted to support my community. And I was like, well, you don't know anybody with autism and you're here? And they're like, yeah, isn't it great? I wanted to find out how I can be more involved. And then I would hug them and go, well, that's just fabulous. And then the next person would come along and I'd go, hi, we're interviewing people that have kids on the autism spectrum about whatever. And the person was like, well, I don't have a child who's on the autism spectrum, but I teach at the local school and this is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. You don't have a kid on the spectrum? And I was just stunned over and over and over. And I went, oh, they invited everybody and everybody came.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. It's, if you build it, they will come, right? So
yeah.
we through Larry's vision, he built something that truly includes everyone, and everyone came. And that's just one of the neatest things about it. It's so funny. I'll be, helping the press to coordinate interviews, and they'll come back to me and say the same thing. They'll say, I've been looking for a family with autism and I haven't found one yet.
And those families are there. Those families are there, but you're at this event for autism and you cannot assume, because I would say well over 50% of the people are people from the community who have come to support. And that in and of itself is a miracle that speaks so much to what they're creating in Fullerton. And I'm not going to tell the whole story, but one of the most amazing conversations I ever had with somebody was at the very end of a Mardi Gras for autism. As everybody was packing up their booths and leaving, a woman came out of the restaurant, one of the restaurants on Restaurant Row there, and she was sort of running through the tents, and she said, well, this sure looked like it was fun. We were having lunch and we were saying, what an amazing group of people, and you guys sure look like you were having fun. What was it? And I said, oh, it was the Mardi Gras for autism. And she said, oh, autism. What a sad thing. And I said to her, no. Did you miss what was happening here? Autism is not a sad thing. There's all kinds of things that can be done. This is not a sad thing. That's what this was about. Community. And when we give the right resources, this is not a sad thing. Join the conversation. And she was like, really? It was just a powerful, powerful thing.
Oh, and I love that because, that really speaks to that level of inclusion. Autism isn't something, nobody needs to feel bad for my kid. He wants to be felt proud of. And at the same time, when we have a truly inclusive environment, we can't even necessarily tell who we should be feeling bad for, right?
That's right.
We all just look we're all just included together. And so having a place where for a couple of hours everyone is truly included, and to see that in practice, it's exactly how you described it. It's a beautiful thing, and people have the opportunity to feel something different about autism other than sympathy. It's more just we're all here together, we're all in it together.
And we should say, Jess, that there are some things that happen at the Mardi Gras for autism that you can buy tickets to do certain things, and you have to purchase tickets to be able to do certain things, but the money from those things goes to some incredible things. And by no means is everything a cost. There are lots of free things to do, but if you'd like to buy tickets, there are some things. But tell them, because I brought up the dance class things. Fullerton Cares gives grants and makes things possible for so many different things. Tell us about a couple of those things that you can think of off the top of your head.
Yeah, so just about a week and a half ago, I was at the school district offices during a school board meeting where Fullerton Cares gave $20,000 in support of a new sensory room at one of their local elementary schools that serves a number of autism SDC classes. And so that was done in collaboration through fundraising efforts through Fullerton Cares, as well as with community business partners. So there are multiple sensory experiences throughout the school district that didn't exist until Fullerton Cares got involved with that. They also support an inclusive dance and movement program, an inclusive horseback riding program. They donate technology to all of the autism school classrooms throughout the district, as well as money, like they grant the teachers who are teaching in the autism classrooms. They've been in support of my son's inclusive cycling program, which is like the greatest thing that ever happened to him. They support all of their educators. They go and they speak at conferences, exactly what you said. So Larry's actually spoken at 2 conferences about how to bring the Fullerton Cares model to other communities.
Yay.
And so, so educators, city representatives, like policymakers have all sat in and had the opportunity to kind of learn about it and take it back to their communities, at least at 2 different instances that I've seen. So we're really addressing anything from education to community to there's a huge workplace training that Fullerton Cares does, where they include people in the food service and hospitality industry, and they're getting people from the young adult programs within the schools trained so that they can have meaningful employment, and they'll do that within like their community partnerships as well. And so they are doing amazing things. And actually, interestingly enough, Fullerton Cares the Mardi Gras for Autism is not a fundraiser. The Mardi Gras for Autism is actually a source of where the funds go. We do charge a couple dollars for tickets just to cover the cost of our vendors, but we actually fundraise through other means just so that we can really make sure to make Mardi Gras about serving our community and our families instead of trying to couple that with like making money off of our community and our families. We do that through a couple other separate events that are kind of more geared not for being direct service to our kids. We don't want to fundraise off our kids. We want to serve our kids.
Well, isn't that wonderful? This is an amazing organization. This is an amazing event. Again, it's happening on April 1st. If people want more information, Jess, where are the places? Do you send them to the Facebook page?
Yeah, so there's the Fullerton Cares Autism Foundation Facebook page, which is a really great resource, if I do say so myself, because I actually am one of the moderators on it. But we post really regularly. I've actually posted a couple times today already. So we post really regularly any news information. We push out information for other resources there as well. And then also there is the FullertonCares.com website page. And a lot of our kind of more structural organizational information is there, and it's a great resource also. So those are 2 places to go to get more information about the organization or the event or how you can participate in some of the services that Fullerton Cares supports.
But if you are in Southern California at the beginning of April, you know, there's no place else to be on April Fool's Day. I will be there, my son will be there, and you know, it's one of those be there or be square kind of things. And we have to travel quite a ways to get to it, but you know, the truth is it's so worth it. And there was one year that I did not bring my son, and he complained for an entire year about it and said, how come I didn't get to go to that one? So it's really super fun. So definitely get to the Mardi Gras for Autism. We're going to also next week have the mayor of Fullerton on the show to talk about the Mardi Gras for Autism. So I'm really looking forward to that. And thank you for setting that up, Jess.